Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Looking forward to an exciting bar or bat mitzvah coming up. So I just want to give you a few tips as to how things will be working. Keep in mind that as we go through this very uncertain period, we'll be having walkthroughs, and of course, the cantor and I are available for questions at any time. So we will be going over some of this more than once, but I just wanted to give you like a basic idea as to how we do it here in the sanctuary if your family is choosing to be here. But also at home, you should know that it's not that different. One difference at home is that you will have a Torah that you'll be given that you can pick up, call Steve Lander, arrange to pick it up in our office before the walkthrough. Take the Torah home with you. It'll be wrapped in a couple, maybe 3 taloses, and the talos becomes your makeshift ark. So the Torah, and we'll give some instructions for you. The Torah needs to put it in a safe place, meaning not next to your pets or small children. We love them dearly, but not a good place for the Torah. And on a table for the service at your home, that is very sturdy and stable and high enough so that someone can read from it easily. Instead of opening the ark, you take the taloses and just spread them apart, and voila, we have an open ark Torah. Okay, so that's at home. If you're going to be here, know that only the immediate family will be up here on the bima. See where I've put my laptop? The stand is precisely in the middle of the room on the bima, and the laptop should be at the back of the stand, preferably one that isn't too big so that you'll also have room for a Torah. But you can see the ark is sort of in the center of this view with the eternal light clearly visible, and the student can do much of what he's going to be doing right here. You'll need other laptops in the room with you, especially if you're going to have more than just a few people, depending on which option you're choosing. And keep in mind also that people will need to be masked unless it's just the immediate family that has been podding together. And you look at our policies and you'll see what that's all about. Anyway, just so you'll know, I will most likely be up in the organ loft in the back. You can see it up there. And with a microphone so that you can clearly hear me, but you'll be able to hear me even without a microphone. I might be in the chapel for part of the service. The cantor will also be around and certainly accessible by Zoom. This is a Zoom-based service, so people will need to have Zoom access in order to fully hear everything that's going on in the services. All right, so the main part of the service that you need to really know about is when the Torah is taken out and used. Remember, only the family is going to be up here. So, in fact, the family may be sitting in the front row, including the student, for the first part of the service that the cantor leads. But now we get to the Torah service. Student comes right up here to the middle and uses the binder, opens it up, and we just make sure that it's clear that everyone can see the student. When it comes time to open the ark, parents or parent will join the student, and other siblings can come to the ark, and you'll watch as I open both sides, take the Torah, it's the small Torah that we are using, and hold it like a baby, basically, for everyone to see. Take it like so from the ark, and then usually the parent hands it to the student, and the student will carry it forward right up to the laptop, to the camera, so that everyone on Zoom can see you. People in the room will also be able to see you. And this is where the student would say the Shema. Now, someone should also close the ark after the student has taken it, so make sure to do that. And the student says the Shema, people repeat, it'll be on Zoom as well. And then after the Torah is finished, you notice how I'm holding it very securely. It shouldn't be held in a way that could potentially fall. And Then the Torah is put down on the table. The Torah does not need to be used except when the student is reading. Now, if other family members are reading from it, that's fine. Then it can be set for that reading as well. Although most readings are being done from the Bible and not from the Torah, and that could include people who are here in the room, including the student. And now we take the Torah and we're going to open it up. I'll just show you. Basically, we pull off the top, and there's a belt here, Velcro, and the top and the Velcro are put on. There's another stand here, so it can just be put right over here until it's needed later on. Now, we might have to move the laptop a bit to the side so that the Torah will fit. And most important thing is to be able to see the student, not necessarily the Torah scroll itself, but I'm showing you the Torah scroll so you can see it. And you can also see that it is laid out very nicely. And you'll see that there is a sticky, a post-it right here. And that little yellow thing has been put there by yours truly so that you will know where the bar mitzvah student's Torah reading begins. Now, the student also has a printout of a photo that shows that column from the Torah that the cantor and I did for you. So, but it's very simple. You see the sticky. That's all you need to know. The student will recognize it because they know this stuff cold. So the reading will be done from that part of the Torah. Now, when you have an aliyah, note that the aliyah is done. I don't have a prayer book with me, but you should have one of our prayer books with you and open it to the page that has the blessings. We also have the blessings on a card, which is right here, and we can put it right here next to the Torah. So you don't need it from the prayer book, but whichever you're more comfortable reading it from. So let's say this is the aliyah, and I will be calling people up, even though I will not be right here. I'll be calling people up. If Uncle Joe has an aliyah or a grandparent has an aliyah, they should do it from a laptop from wherever they're sitting in the room or at home. They should not come up to the Torah unless they've been living with you or quarantining with you for 14 days. We're trying to be as safe as we can, and handling the Torah is an area of contact that is really not CDC approved, let's say. So we want to keep people away from the Torah unless it's the immediate family. But all right, let's say the parent has an aliyah. They're coming up for the one usually before the bar mitzvah. You come up to the Torah and you touch the spot with your talos in the Torah that's going to be read. You just touch it, and then you do the blessing, which is right here. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach, Baruch Adonai hamvorach li'olam va'ed. And then you repeat, Baruch Adonai hamvorach li'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. And then whoever's doing the Torah reading, whether it's here or remotely, will do that reading. Then after the reading, now you may not know where in the Torah reader is reading, because the reader most likely will not be here. So just touch any spot in the Torah with your talos, kiss it, and do the blessing after. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tocheinu, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. It's traditional to stand to the other side of the Torah when the next aliyah comes up, and most likely the next aliyah will be the bar or bat mitzvah. Usually that comes right after the parents' aliyah. Notice that we have the yad here, which we're fine with people of the same family using. Sometimes students have their own yad, pointer that they get as a bar mitzvah gift from a grandparent or whatever. That's really nice. But we will provide this with the Torah when you borrow it for home, and it'll certainly be on the Torah here, so you can use it. We will clean it after you return the Torah or after that Shabbat. You do not need to clean anything regarding the Torah while it is in your possession. Okay, so the student will then be called up by the cantor remotely, and the student comes up and does the aliyah the same way and reads where the little sticky is and does that brief Torah reading with the aliyah. They know how to do this. After that's done, we have Hagba and Glila, the lifting and dressing of the Torah. This can only be done, once again, by someone who is in the immediate family, the pod, because they are able to touch the Torah just as the student has. So the way to do Hagba, and this is our lightest Torah that you'll be getting, that you'll be using. Hold the Torah open maybe by 1-2 columns at the most. No need to be a hero here. And balance it on the table. So you're sliding it down and then lifting it up, bend your knees a little bit, and then lift the Torah like this. V'zot haTorah asher sa Moshe. And we sing that. You can sit on a chair, or you can just place it back down on the table very gently. That's the easiest thing to do because it can also be seen by the camera. And as you place it back down, make sure it's sort of rolled fairly tightly. And we take the good old Velcro belt and then you can see we place this over the top and dress the Torah. The Torah can be put on the other table. It can be left where it is, but that's where the student's going to be. So you put it on the other table, and then the student does the Haftorah from right here. Make sure that the laptop is looking right at him or her. Does the Haftorah right here on the at the center table. After the Haftorah, candy can be thrown, but talk to me and or Steve about how and when and what kind of candy and where you get it. So that will be that part of the service. That's really all you need to know. And again, I will be around, people will be around to help you. You don't have to worry about being the only ones, near the Torah. After the Torah service is complete, the Haftorah is complete, we might do an English reading or two, and then the Torah is returned to the ark. So once again, it's the student who will be doing this, usually handing it to a parent who puts it back into the ark. The ark happens to be open still right now, because I can't be doing 20 things at the same time, but it would be closed. It would have been closed after we took it out. Then the parents or whoever, sibling, can open the ark. We put the Torah back. Make sure it's sort of neatly centered. And then when we finish the prayer that the cantor will lead, Eitz Chaim Hi, the ark is closed, and voila. So I just wanted to show you how simple this is, and yet certainly understandable that people aren't used to being up here by themselves, but it's a very powerful thing as well. Other parts of the service we will discuss, including parents' blessings, English readings, and also the student speech, which will be done from right here. Everything will be done from right here, center bima with the laptop looking at you. So if you have any questions, of course, please feel free to be in touch, and really looking forward to the best we can possibly do in a strange year, but it will be a lot of fun too. Mazel tov to you.